Y'all ain't finished. Y'all ain't finished. Make you come ready to go this next week.
How about those?
Are you ready for the best Kansas City Chiefs insight? Welcome to the Four Guys in a Bar podcast, presented by Chiefs Blitz and sponsored by Eric Haynes with the Eric Haynes Group. If you're looking for a real estate expert, call Eric Haynes today at 816-729-3785. That's 816-729-3785. Now, here is your Chiefs Blitz host, Nick Athan, with Lou Montagna, Andre Tillman, and Hense Todd.
Welcome back to the next edition of Four Guys in a Bar, presented by ChiefsBlitz.com, your number one source for Chiefs news, and a lot of Chiefs news coming. I have some articles posted after some of the news of the day involving our Kansas City Chiefs, and we're excited to talk about that with the rest of our crew. First up, Mr. Hense Todd, Bowtie Sports, my partner. You can check out their show every Saturday now at 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. And don't worry about daylight savings time. It's already here. We'll let you know when there's a change in March. But anyway, before we get started, let's talk about our sponsors who make the wheels go around here at the Four Guys in a Bar podcast presented by ChiefsBlitz.com. First up, Mr. Eric Haynes with the Eric Haynes Group. If you're looking for someone who can help you buy or sell a house in the greater Kansas City metropolitan area, there's nobody better than my good friend, Mr. Eric Haynes. He took care of me and my wife, Emily, when we decided to buy our house. He was stellar, and his team were spectacular. So if you want the same experience, call him today at 816-729-3785, or you can email him at esellskc@gmail.com.
Proud sponsor of Chief Who?
That is correct. Another proud sponsor is my amazing wife, Emily Athan. If you're looking for a custom health insurance quote, she is the person that can make that happen for you. So whether you're looking for a government option or a private option, she can analyze your current situation, find the best deal for you that's the right fit with the right doctors and the right plan for you and or your family or small business. So for that free quote, give her a call today at 913-215-9086.
Emily.
That's right. Emily. Emily, indeed. And our one of our newer sponsors, the guys at Resell Electronics.
Save big on the hottest electronics. At Resell Electronics, we offer the best deals on new and pre-owned TVs, game consoles, cameras, plus so much more. With 2 convenient locations along Noland Road in Independence, stop by and visit us today.
That's Resell Electronics for all of your consumer electronic needs, whether you want to buy something new or sell something old. They will take care of you. They got 2 locations, 1214 South Noland Road and also Noland Road at 40 Highway. Inside the flea market, go in and tell them that the guys at Chiefs Blitz and Bowtie sent you, and you get 10% off. If you want to check out all their specials and deals and all their pricing, check out their website at resellwithac.electronics.com.
Resell Electronics, sir.
That's right, Resell Electronics. We're also excited to announce a new sponsor to the Chiefs Blitz and Bowtie family. We're excited that we're going to be bringing up Underdog. If you've heard about Underdog, you've got some great games available. You can go higher or lower for your favorite players. You can do some parlays. You can do pretty much whatever you want. Hey, Wild Card Weekend is coming up Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, so you definitely want to register. You can win up to 1,000 times your entry fee. It's available in these 33 states. And deposit, and like I said, get up to 1,000 in bonus cash. Join the millions of fans who have won billions on the Underdog platform. Hey, when you do, we'll put a link here in the chat, but when you go to Underdog, make sure you use the code Chiefs Blitz, and that way we can keep track of you as well. Remember, you must be 18 to play, 19 in Alabama and New England, in Colorado, 21 in Arizona and Massachusetts. And again, they've got 2 games, the classic level and the champion level, dependent on your state. So we're very excited to bring the Underdog guys in. And remember, when you sign up, make sure you use the code Chiefs Blitz. Their app is really easy to download. It's really easy to set up. And it's a lot of fun. I experimented with it this past weekend, and it was pretty cool. And not something that I usually know how to do. It has to be really user-friendly, and it is exactly that. So, again, check out the app at Underdog, and make sure you put the code in the Chiefs Blitz. Right there, you can see on the chat, we put the code in. Just hit that code, sign up today, and we would really appreciate that. And enjoy the games. That's it. That's all I got. Appreciate it, guys.
You're good for the day?
I think I'm good. I'm sure we'll do that
Nick's
a couple
out.
more.
All
We'll
right.
do that a couple more times.
Very exciting stuff. Our first national sponsor.
Our first national sponsor.
Yeah,
We're very excited about that. Absolutely.
Very cool. And no doubt, thanks to a lot of people in the chat, a lot of people that view us and chime in. That's that helped us get to this point. So
it's great. We appreciate it.
Let's keep it up, gang.
All right, that's Lou Montagna, the voice of reason.
That's right.
And then Coach Dre, Andre Tillman as well, joining the Four Guys in a Bar podcast on Wednesday. It's been a crazy day from start to finish so far, and a lot of Chiefs news. We'll get to that here in a minute, but here we are. Wild Card Weekend is coming up. There's been a lot of banter. All these teams and these fan bases are still boo, boo, boo over the Chiefs. And I want to give a shout out to Bill's chat. They put a nice post out today and said, you know what? The Chiefs earned it. They did everything they did to get into this position. And I thought his words were really kind. And he's also been a friend of the show. So we're going to have appreciate that as well. So, hey, it is what it is, guys.
Before we get into that, let's get into the little breaking news.
Lots of breaking news. Broncos too. But I'll get to you in a second, my friend.
Baby.
Lots of breaking news. The Raiders have requested an interview with Chiefs defensive coordinator Steve Spagnuolo for their head coaching vacancy, according to DM Rossini. And the Jets have also requested an interview with Steve Spagnuolo. As we mentioned, Mr. Bargonzi is in meeting with the Jets today for his potential GM job. And if so, I think he's going to bring in one of these two coaches. That would be my guess. The Raiders are interesting because Tom Brady is going to have a say in this hiring franchise and hiring cycle. And he has a lot of respect for Spags. And this kind of leads me to believe that they may be going the veteran route and not a young whippersnapper, in Vegas. And we'll talk more about which team's better here in the later segment. But pretty interesting. Spags, getting 2 interviews. Nagy getting 1. He's meeting with the Jets today in a virtual interview. And, I think if Baganzi goes to the Jets, he's going to probably want one of his guys, and we'll just see how much the Johnson family is willing to, to let that GM make that decision. So that's kind of the news of the day.
Yeah, well, kudos to all these guys getting interviews. Yeah. Obviously, they've been performing very well. I mean, Mike Margonzi has probably been one of the hottest names out there, in terms of future GMs. And yeah, it certainly would be kind of a pathway in for either Nagy or Spags in New York. Obviously, Spags no stranger to New York, just on the other side of the stadium. But should be very interesting hiring cycle. All the names being thrown around. Yep. Mike Vrabel figures huge in all of this. He's got relationships, I think, with probably every single one of these teams, but none more so than the Raiders and the Patriots, of course. So I'm sure if he has his druthers, and the Crafts have everything to say about it, and they do.
They meet tomorrow.
That Vrabel lands there.
Right.
They did there too, and you hope. The biggest thing that comes out of this whole cycle every year, especially when you see some very quickly done minority candidate interviews, it always just it kind of, I don't know, it's like checking boxes type thing, which you have to do. I get it. But at no time before Byron Leftwich and Pep Hamilton interviewed with New England were their names even brought up. I mean, Pep Hamilton's been around the NFL, been around college football.
He's the guy you go to when you need
very highly regarded as an offensive coordinator, quarterback coach, and so forth. Byron Leftwich was a really hot name when he was the OC for Bruce Arians down in Tampa. They win the Super Bowl with Brady, and his name was they thought he was going to be the next coach.
Yeah, you never know.
It turns out to be Todd Bowles. And I honestly don't know if Byron Leftwich has been coaching football ever since then. Now, Pep Hamilton's been in the UFL and some other places, but I wouldn't be shocked if Vrabel does not get out of that building. His agent might want him, kind of use some leverage, but the Patriots know they're gonna bid against themselves. They're gonna pay him probably as much as he really wants, and so hopefully, Spags, those interviews are legitimate, and he has an opportunity.
Yeah, he's got a chance. Yeah, I think we got some more breaking news as well. Dun dun dun.
Baby.
All right, the Titans have requested an interview now with Mike Barganzi. So that's 2. Again, today he is meeting with the New York Jets in person, and I'm assuming he will go to Tennessee shortly thereafter to meet with the Titans. Now, the Titans are an interesting choice considering that Brett Veach just fleeced them with the DeAndre Hopkins trade and the Snead trade. The Chiefs now are all going to send a 5th round pick instead of a 4th round because Hopkins did not play 50% of the snaps. Not to mention having the first pick in the 3rd round. I think if that happens, if Barganzi goes to the Titans, I think those fleecing days are over. And, maybe he can bring some stability to the organization. But the great thing about this hiring cycle is it looks like some of the Chiefs people are being noticed. And that's good. That's good news.
Yeah. Spags to the Raiders,
Absolutely.
man.
Wouldn't that be great? I would love that.
Crazy. He knows Kansas City. He knows Kansas City, so
they should hire him in a heartbeat.
Staying within the division.
We can't hear you, coach.
Now there's only one out of 32, correct? I mean, there's only 32 teams. So if it's offered to him, he's got to take it.
Oh, absolutely.
But that just would be, I think, for him, as emotional as he is, that would be a difficult thing for him to coach against Andy in the division.
I'll say no. I'll be, if I'm Andy Reid or Clark Hunt, I'll be just like James Brown. Please don't go. Nope, I will not let him out the building. Hey, I'm going.
How would you feel though? How would you feel, bro? If Spags go to the Raiders and that was Reid versus,
I feel like that'll be the end of the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, I mean, Dave Tobe interviewed with the Broncos, and Andy was all for it. So,
well, because these guys, I don't know that. I think Coach Reid is always going to push his guys and get them opportunities, and no matter where it is, especially with a guy like Tobe or Spagnuolo, because they're just at their age. I mean, it's a real thing. I mean, it shouldn't be, but it is a real thing, and those guys getting opportunities, they may be the last ones they get. So, got to get after it.
So with that said, man, what you have for us today, Lou, for Chiefs Who? I know people want some stuff.
Are we doing Chief Who today?
Yeah, everybody.
Are we having a playoff contest?
Is this a playoff contest?
Is there any chance that this Chief Who version is going to be about the playoffs? You know how I roll. Come on, Hensley, strike up the band.
Let's see. Second contest begins now.
Here we go. That's right, gang. It's the special wild card version of Chief Who. So this particular chief will have made a name for himself, if you would, in the playoffs, and this is going to be historical, right? I mean, this is going to go back to 1960, right up through last season's playoffs. So it could be anybody. So I'm going to read off a series of concocted clues that only I understand. And if you're lucky enough to get it, God bless you, you'll get on the board. So without further ado, let's do this. Chief Who? This chief in high school played 4 games as a junior, only 1 game as a senior. He had his best season in college as a sophomore, missed his junior year due to injury, and only played sparingly as a senior.
And you said this is past and present.
Yes, sir. This is all time, baby.
Damn.
As a rookie, he had a pretty significant wild card game.
Would that be Christian Okoye?
Is that you or Ruben?
That's Ruben DeCruz.
No, it is not Christian Okoye.
I'm not guessing yet.
That's why I was wondering. You guessing
As
already?
a rookie, this Chief tied an NFL record.
Ken Sinclair says Eddie Podolak. Nicholas Blocker says Niall Davis.
Nicholas Blocker, welcome to Chief Who. He's on the board. Let's go, Nicholas. That's right. This week's Chief Who is none other than Niall Davis, number 34. The last clue, which I thought was probably the best one, his school nickname, the mascot, is one of the most damaging invasive species on the planet. Yes, that's right. The feral pig or razorback.
The razorback.
Right. So, yeah, as a junior, he got hurt. In high school, he only played 4 games. 1 game as a senior. Still, obviously, went to Arkansas. His sophomore year, ran for like 1,200 yards, 13 touchdowns. Then he got hurt. Then he only played like 100 carries as a senior. Still the 3rd-round pick by the Chiefs. Right? If you recall that wild card game against the Colts, Jamal Charles gets hurt. He ends up going in the game for most of it, 67 yards rushing, 33 receiving, a couple of touchdowns. And then, of course, also in his rookie year, week 13 against the Broncos, tied a then NFL record 108-yard kickoff return for a touchdown. Yep. That's right. Way to go, Nicholas Blocker. Love you, man.
Good job,
Niall Davis. Let's do this.
Hey, Okoye, DeCruz, Ruben was Okoye, Kenny was Podolak, and Niall Davis with the swing and hits. So, Nicholas, you are now eligible for the grand prize of the playoff challenge, as we will go through the Super Bowl week, and we will keep the contest active until the Wednesday before Super Bowl 59 in New Orleans between the Kansas City Chiefs and who cares?
Way to go, Nick. All right. That was Chief Who for this week. As always, brought to you by Air Canes and the Air Canes.
Nick came out of nowhere, man. Fresh from High V.
I love it.
High V,
I love it.
Fresh from High V.
Congrats, man. That's super. Good for you.
I was thinking Priest Holmes though. I was thinking Priest Holmes for a little bit. Priest Holmes on.
You know when Niall Davis had that kickoff return against the Texans, my TV goes out like right when he catches the ball.
Damn.
Like we lost power. It was terrible.
So that's a thing in your part of the world.
In Florida, yeah. And when I was living in Florida, power went out a lot.
Oh, in Florida, okay.
Yeah, not so much here.
Hey, what's your thoughts on Niall Davis though? Niall Davis was pretty good. What happened to Niall?
He had a lot of potential, but he got injured, and then I think he got in the doghouse a little bit.
Well, obviously the injury started in high school. They continued at Arkansas, and it's just one of those things where, he's one of those guys that you thought, wow, maybe this is a steal. I think they took him in the 3rd round, even though he barely played. Like I said, the 1 year, his sophomore year, he kind of went nuts at Arkansas. But he obviously the kickoff return that he's tied the record. Then the one against Houston in the playoffs, it was just like, bang, here we go, and the playoffs are off and running, and they end up. They
look good in the playoffs. That's when the Hense beard got thick. That's when he got thick. That game, and Andrew Luck, man.
The balls dropped. The beard got thick.
So what's the prize for this playoff round? Do you got anything that's in?
I don't yet. I am in the process of selling a whole bunch of stuff, so I will come up with something really good.
Well, perhaps we can tie it to one of the answers.
We could do that.
So if you have any Niall Davis stuff, put that in the bin.
I don't. I have.
Really?
I have
no Niall Davis.
I don't. The only older Chief running back I have is
Priest Holmes.
No,
he ain't that old, bro. He said older.
Hold on,
still got some youth.
Let's see what I got here. I got
Priest Holmes is not a young man.
Remember, age and nothing but a thought, Lou.
I got a rookie, Colby Smith.
Wow, that's worth at least $1.
That was hey, Colby and I were friends, man, and I saw him not too long ago.
Did he ever carry the ball in a regular season game?
That's about worth $1.
He did.
Did he?
Yeah, he did.
Nick.
He got a few snaps.
Who is that anyway?
I do not recall that name in the least.
Right.
Hey,
Was he a draftee?
He was. I think he was a late round pick.
Okay. Damn. Okay.
Hey, I had the same reaction. Hey,
Yeah.
well, we got to do a due diligence. Man.
That's
He was on
right.
Chiefs,
Do our due diligence.
nobody had got him.
That's
Nobody
the kind
had
of stuff
got
you're
him.
playing for, folks.
That's it.
Well,
No,
I'm-
I'll come up with some good stuff here. Like I said,
All
I'm
right, Nicholas.
spending the
You're
rest
on
of the week.
board, baby.
That's a wild card prize.
This is great. It's been many weeks since somebody got the Chifu.
He came out the blue though. That's what I'm saying. He came
Way to
out
go,
the
Nicholas.
blue and got it done. First answer, man. Was the first answer.
Nice.
So is Nicholas? Is this his first time in it?
And I think so, Nicholas. I'm not sure. I'm familiar that you've been on before. We appreciate you. Please subscribe to our channel.
Yeah,
If
subscribe.
it's not the
Appreciate that
first
as well.
time, it's the first
Hey, I
time.
wanna-
in a
And you get that
while.
running back card.
All right. Before we get in the next segment, I do want to address Broncos tube. Sorry, boys. Yep, we talked about this a lot on Monday. They kicked our butt, and nobody is rooting more than the Broncos
There you go,
upsetting
Nicholas,
this
second
weekend.
time. All right, good
So
call.
there you go.
You know
Okay.
what? No, hey, that's my man named Bronco. Bronco too. Listen. The Chiefs just laid down for you. Chiefs just laid down.
Hey, Bo
right?
Nix got
They
offensive
laid
player of the
down.
week.
They laid down, man.
Good for him. All right. Now, before the season, what's that? Go ahead.
Go ahead. You about to say something? Go.
Well, no, I was going to talk about, before the season started, we had our glorified predictions as to what we thought the outcome of the 2024 regular season would be, and we even picked our MVPs and a whole sorts of stuff. And it's pretty interesting to look back. I saw this morning. I thought, oh wow! And of course, the Cube and Mr. Hense were probably the closest to what ultimately happened. So
the ultimate Glazer.
If we had a visual, that would be great.
we're coming. I probably surprised him. All right, there's Lou and Mango's picks. So
So Mango, Lou had a Chiefs winning 13 games and losing 4. He had Isaiah Pacheco in most touchdowns. Patrick Mahomes, the player of the year. Kingsley of the season. Noah Gray is the surprise superstar. So I think he had that one right. And no Travis Kelce, the biggest disappointment. So that
Noah, he got close to the record, and then Noah and Travis.
Okay.
Were excellent picks, and I can't argue with Patrick Mahomes either.
And Mango had the Chiefs 14-3. Rashid Rice, most touchdown. Patrick Mahomes, the player of the year. Kingsley, rookie of the season. Xavier Worthy, surprise superstar. That's correct. Sky Moore, the biggest disappointment, and that was also correct. So then let's look at coaches' Dre's and mines. Bring in the drum roll. Yeah. So Coach Dre has a 14-3. He has Travis Kelce as the most touchdowns. Charles Omenihu, the player of the year. Jaden Hicks, the rookie of the season. Rashid Rice, superstar. Carson Steele, disappointment.
I got that one right. Yeah.
I had the Chiefs 15-2, and what are they record? 15-2. I have Patrick Mahomes. I have Patrick Mahomes 59-60 touchdown passes.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes, the player of the year. That's still on the radar because
we all had such high hopes for Kingsley.
Then Kingsley is the superstar. Have Worthy as a surprise superstar, and that is right. And look, the biggest disappointment was no respect for Patrick Mahomes, and that is actually correct because there's no respect because how they give him Patrick Mahomes and treat him in the playoff, Pro Bowl, and everything else. So that is correct. And Nick has him at 14-3. Travis Kelce, most touchdowns. Patrick Mahomes, the player of the year. Xavier Worthy, the rookies. What I can't read. Rookie of the
season. That's pretty right. That's right.
With a superstar Isaiah Pacheco, the disappointment.
What was Juju?
I was right. I had Juju as the surprise star, and he didn't have the touchdowns or the catches, but he had a pretty big impact on the blocking and doing all sorts of stuff in the offense.
So by looking at all that, what did we learn from the 24 season, the Chiefs season?
Get you an offensive line. Get your left tackle.
Yeah, I think we tried to speak the whole Kingsley thing into existence, and he obviously wasn't quite ready for prime time. Hopefully, with an entire off season that he can kind of get his legs under him, and in training camp and everything next year that he can kind of find his way, and they don't have to like overpay for a left tackle somewhere. But in terms of just in general, I'm not talking about the awards or anything like that, but just in general, that the team has kind of mastered situational football. And the fact and the thing where it really stands out is if you spend any time watching other teams play and they get in those situations. Now, there are teams that do it very well, and there are still inexplicably professional NFL teams that just look like they had no idea this could possibly happen at this part of the game. And they just botch and sleepwalk through situations, and they lose games. So now at the end of the season, if you finished 9-8 or 10-7 and you're on the outside looking in, you can look back at the game film, and there's situations that you completely fudged up,
right?
And it cost you a playoff spot. So from the Chiefs' perspective, and it's not just that they were really good at it; they are expert at it now.
Excellento.
Yep.
And that's the silver lining of playing all these close games. And oh my God, the Chiefs are barely winning these games, and this, that, and the other thing. And at the end of the day, it's all in the NFL. You stack wins. That number is that number. It's not that number, but no, there's no voting, nothing like that. You finished with the most wins. You get your flowers.
My biggest take on that, when you are a great superstar like the Patrick Mahomes, the god of football, and now when you're the god of football, the referee's on your back now. So you got the power of the referees with you when you become the god of football. And that's what I took away from this season, guys. Mahomes is the god. He's the ultimate general of football. He's going to get those Michael Jordan calls. And so whenever everybody getting upset because Brady went through that phase too before he left, he passed the torch to God, torch to Patrick Mahomes, so he get all the calls. Because remember the Tuck rule with Brady, we didn't know what the hell that was, but when you're the god of the NFL, you get those calls. So that's what Patrick Mahomes is now, guys. He's God. So
okay, well, I'm gonna defend this. I'm gonna defend the system just a hair. I know you're the antagonist of the program, but I think the Chiefs were the third most penalized team in the National Football League, so they weren't getting away with things. And nobody flops better than Josh Allen. It's a proven fact.
Yeah, he do flop.
Okay, so listen, there were a lot of plays like last year and this year where Mahomes got hit pretty good and there were no calls. So I don't think that's the case. You can say whatever you want and you can spin this any way you want to.
He's still got it in the NFL, though. He's still
the best player in football.
Arrowhead still, for some reason, people fail in Arrowhead in the last second. I don't know, situational football.
How to win.
The of Derek Thomas.
That's right. And that's what we learned about 2024. And Lou made a great point. They just stack wins. They know how to win. There's no scenario in which they either don't practice or have not experienced in the last 5 years. And this is why when you have a veteran coach, a veteran DC, a veteran OC, when you have guys who've been there, done that, and had success and failures at all sorts of levels,
that's true.
In the coaching spectrum. And then when you bring in players from other teams that are really good on bad teams and have to come in and say, okay, you have to buy into the Chiefs way. And when they do, like DeAndre Hopkins did, the way Juju Smith-Schuster did, and you get guys like that, then it just kind of continues that cycle of success. You get good players who know how to win, who may not have the hardware, but if they come here, they'll win their hardware. So I think what's crucial we learned about the season is the Chiefs have a system. It works. They may not be the best at every position or have the best players overall, but as long as you have a tremendous quarterback like 15, like the Bills have in Allen and Jackson in Baltimore, you can win games. But the ones who win the most, and I don't know if you've got that graphic of Patrick Mahomes' success in the postseason. When you got a guy like this, it's hard. It's almost impossable to
he just battle tested, guys. That's all it is.
But he grinded this year more so than any year.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised we didn't get the breaking news on that one. This just in: Patrick really good in the playoffs.
Yeah, he's really good.
Well, I'll put it like this. What did we learn from the 24th season? The Chiefs. The regular season. I learned that they are freaking battle tested. I know I say that a lot on this show. I know that's my take. You know why? And I also learned that there's no respect for Patrick Mahomes as I predicted. There's no respect, no love.
There she goes. She's back. Stroud, what's up?
Easy on the trigger. Easy on the trigger there, Nick. Easy now.
Yeah, easy on the trigger.
No respect for Patrick Mahomes. No respect for no love, no anything.
Look at that. There she is.
These are 15.
You're
There
back.
she is.
The wife of the panel.
Wait, I need a 20. I need a 20.
There you go.
I must have an old computer, old version of Windows here. What are her emojis? What are those?
You say her emojis are reading. They got stronger and they was working hard.
Look at that.
No, I don't see the actual emojis. What are they?
They people lifting weight.
Lifting weight.
I think he gave Erica the script to say that.
I'm not giving the script. But back to my take, they are 15-2. And I learned that, what I learned from this season, ever since I gave the Chiefs record prediction for all the time, since they've been winning the Super Bowl, the record has been right since they've been winning the Super Bowl. I just started that when I did it last year and the year before.
I'm the one that made the Chiefs.
That's a lot of.
So maybe it is the cube.
No, it's not. Put that damn cube down. Put that cube down, boy.
Just listen.
No, honestly, for real, my take for real, the Chiefs patchwork, man. The Chiefs was phenomenal, man. Getting pieces involved, man. Putting the puzzle pieces together. For real. Like you put Juju back in, you get D-Hop coming in and whatnot. They experimented with the left tackle right now with DJ Humphries and whatnot. They put Tooney on the outside. Chiefs did phenomenal, man. When the Chiefs was following, man, they gathered up the troops, man. They worked everybody out, man. They put people in place that can, make this offense be a little more productive and whatnot. And again, Patrick Mahomes was very productive in the fourth quarter.
See what the wife said? Battle tested. That's a sting.
Hey, man, you don't cut me off because your wife said battle tested. Man, you don't cut my segment off.
It is battle tested. It is battle.
So we don't run into like that ugly situation again. Can you tell us what that handle means? Straw BEJ. What does that refer to?
Well, you had to ask her. That's something she came up with.
BJ.
Very good.
Right, so it's an original. I like that.
What do straw BJ means? Leave a comment.
I thought since she was Hense's mouthpiece that he would have given her that too. So
I'm in the doghouse. I'm the one who put her in timeout. So.
I'll just say now. Speaking of battle tested, how different is the Kansas City Chiefs dynasty versus the Patriots dynasty? Go, Nick.
This is obviously the biggest talk of the going into the postseason and certainly how it could transpire when the Chiefs get to Super Bowl 59 in New Orleans and win.
Right. Nick, I heard that.
That's what it is. I mean, you're talking about the two greatest NFL dynasties. I mean, no disrespect to the Cowboys, to the Steelers, and to the 49ers, but kind of different era. And I think that's what's impressive. What's impressive to me about the Patriots is they go 10 years without a Super Bowl. They win 3 and then they win more after 10 years, reinventing themselves. The Chiefs have done it a little differently. They've reinvented themselves almost every season. The first year they lose in the championship game, then they win Super Bowl 54. They lose Super Bowl 55. They miss a year. They come back. They go back to back with all different guys. I mean, Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid were the constants. Steve Spagnuolo was a constant. Those things help. But the way in which they have done it from year to year versus the Patriots having to go 10 years and not experience the Lombardi trophy, to me, this gives them the label as, again, after they win their three-peat, they will be, in my opinion, the greatest team in NFL history. And when they talk about this team 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, and you really dive into everything that took place from training camp through the Super Bowl, it's remarkable what they've done. So for me, the fans hate the Chiefs. The other fan bases do. I've talked to a lot of guys in the media who are saying, I hope they get their three-peat. Now, we're not going to always say that because we want to be the other side of the banter, but definitely for sure, I think a lot more people want to see this than not. But these fan bases who are being petty right now, the Bengals fan bases and these teams that missed out and da-da-da-da-da-da-da, just win your division first and get in the dance, and then you can say whatever you want to. But the Chiefs have learned how to adapt every single season. Sometimes it's worked, but more times it has.
I believe it really ain't no difference, man. Both these teams look very equal for dynasty wise, because the Patriots was known for defense, and Brady kicked on like start putting it on. Just like if you look at Kansas City, defense has been okay. Patrick Mahomes was lighting it up, so he can go back and forth with the Chiefs, man.
Yeah,
but
that's impressive. That's
what I'm saying. It is, but it's like difference. I don't see no difference for real. Just maybe in Super Bowl appearances and whatnot, because they both organizations are excellent in what they do. So I don't really see no difference besides the Super Bowls and Super Bowl appearances.
Yep.
Couple differences for me. First off, I think just from the visual perspective, right? Early on when the Chiefs were so damned explosive, and even people that didn't like the Chiefs thought it was just amazing because you had speed at every position. You didn't know where the ball was going, who was getting it. And it was just a fun watch. Now, it maybe not so fun for the true diehard fans, because it was just the defense was just not very good early on before Spags got here. So that was a little, the visual part of it. And then I think also because the Patriots, I think, were always looked at almost like the Yankees or old-time Notre Dame footballs, like the evil empire, and it was like the Death Star and all that stuff. Whereas the Chiefs just seemed to be more of a joyful group. Andy Reid just, having the players show their emotions, show their personalities, and it was just, and it just seems like more of a fun process. Now, during the course of this year, it didn't seem like they were having a lot of fun.
No.
But it seems over the last few weeks, again, as difficult as that 11-day stretch and 3 games was, I think you started to see a little bit more joy from the team. Now, that coincided also with Hollywood coming back, but I think those would be the biggest differences because, again, both teams have had eras where they were defensive and they won, and then they were offensive and they still won. The Chiefs kind of flipped that script, from the Patriots, where the Patriots started off defensively and then turned into an offensive team much later on. Chiefs started off as this highly explosive team to now where they really lean into their defense and they just win a different way. So they're still both hated. There's a lot of similarities, but the biggest differences, I think, is just the visual experience, and then also the joy versus do your job. One
strict, one loose.
Right.
I'll say what's the difference? The difference is, even though everybody say Brady is the best, they have a better quarterback. I feel like they got a better quarterback than Brady. And also they have a better D coordinator than Belichick. I think Spags is the better D coordinator, better than Belichick.
Romeo Cornell?
I'm talking about Belichick. Belichick's defense. Belichick.
He was the DC though. Okay, go ahead.
Well, but again, like I said, the difference, for me is those two, and also the difference is, we get more hate. We get more hate from other teams. Our team get the most hate that I didn't see from any team.
Sure?
I know people, I'm definitely sure.
Yeah,
I don't know, man. Colts fans took a lot of crap from New England.
Yeah,
they were the same division. The Jets fans, the Bills fans. I mean, it was, and they had a even higher degree of hate towards the evil empire. So yeah, it's whatever. If you win, you're going to get that.
You're gonna get hated on. Absolutely.
We got teams that celebrating a one AFC championship against the Chiefs. Like Travis Kelce said, you know what I mean? He not scared of no Bengals. He said he ain't scared of nobody.
Change the subject, change the narrative, change the narrative.
The Bengals are hijacking the conversation again.
I don't know what I'm saying is that's the difference. You got the difference. We got our players that's speaking out more. You got Travis Kelce saying stuff on social media. Back then, you didn't have Gronk and all the other guys, doing all this on social media. But that's the difference for me going forward. So
basically, they can be themselves when Kansas City, New England, one rule, one structure, one band, one sound, one band, one sound with New England.
That's right. Well, that's what makes them unique. That's for sure.
Makes them unique, bro. They're dominant. They've been dominant for a long time too.
So let's get right into it. Who is your favorite? Rapid fire, let's get right into it. Rapid fire, guys. Your favorite game from last, this off season, this last season, the season,
2024 season. Gotcha.
The
Bengals and Chiefs.
Favorite game. All right.
Favorite game.
Me, it was the Chiefs and the Steelers. That was the most fun I had watching the Chiefs team all season.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to really delineate because I don't know that you can point to one game just because of what we've been talking about.
You can say more than one. We'll allow that.
Where it was a lot of situational stuff, even though they weren't playing to their potential and all that. If I was to pick one, maybe the 49ers game. Because I expected a lot more from San Francisco, but the Chiefs went out there and just kind of took care of business again. So I would say that one.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll say that.
Least favorite.
The whole season, every game.
Least favorite, I would have to say, even though the top guys didn't play, I would say the last Denver game. That was just I couldn't watch it, but I did, and it was very difficult to watch. Because it was just, I mean, you get blown out. Okay, fine. I get that. That's going to happen. But they just didn't seem like they were even a functional unit on the offensive side of the ball. And it's like, what is this? So, yeah, I didn't like that game at all.
I got you.
My favorite game was the 49ers, the Patrick Mahomes poster, run over, material. That's my favorite.
That was great.
I see all Patrick Mahomes, highlights, but that one would go down in the history for me. That's my favorite highlight of his career.
You sure it wasn't when he broke his helmet? I thought you liked that one better.
Hey, Lou, good.
I thought you liked that one a little bit better.
I like that one, but this one topped that one. That was top that one for me.
The Grand Reaper helmet.
Yeah,
that's it for me.
What was your least favorite game?
My least favorite game was when they let the Raiders play close to them. Even though they lost to the Bills, everybody said the Bills, but when they was playing with the Raiders, it was a very close game, and I didn't like they didn't let the backups play that close to them. So let's go rapid.
Let me. My least favorite was.
Hey man, you answer the question.
I didn't get a chance to answer. I thought we were going to do favorite, then we're going to do least favorite. So the Bills was my least favorite game. I never thought at any point in that game the Chiefs were going to win, and I hate that feeling. That was the only time this season that I felt like
I should have regrouped.
They're not going to win. I'm setting aside the scrimmage game.
Oh, so you say you should regroup? What are you trying to go to? Bengals?
No. I should have said the Bills is my favorite game, and the least one was the Bengals game.
Okay, fair enough. We will all accept that. Hit the accept button.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Nick. Appreciate it.
Well, everybody probably knew that, but
my bad. I was thinking that.
We
got
you.
Sorry. Rapid fire MVP, offseason defense, offense, defense, special teams. Who you guys have, Luke?
Well, MVP of the offense. It's hard to really vote for anyone besides Patrick because it was just so spread out. Different guys played well during different stretches, so I'll go with Patrick there. Defense. got to be Chris Jones. I mean, it really does. And then special teams, I would say all the kickers. all the kickers that won games, man. Every single one of them. So Bucker, Schrader, who was the last guy? Number 49. I can't even remember his name.
Matthew. Was it Matthew? I can't remember.
Yeah.
Somebody help us on the board.
So
Matthew Wright. That's right.
Matthew Wright. There you go. Yeah. All the kickers.
So go ahead.
Offensive wise, Tony.
Because you just skipped Nick, so then you made.
Okay.
No, I was waiting on Nick though. But
go ahead. Hey,
let the old guys go first. So I'm saying. So you sure? I think Tony on offense. I'm gonna say George Kalafis on defense. I like George and special teams. Nico. I'm gonna go with Nico, man. I'm gonna go with Nico. Mango, yo boy. Go with Nico.
Yeah, I'm gonna steal some mangoes. I think Kareem Hunt is the offensive player of the year. I think what he did, coming off the couch, and a week later he gets a $111 or a $115. He took a beating. There's a great article in the Kansas City Star about him and his rise back to the Chiefs. I think certainly without him, I don't think they're 15-2, especially after the injury to Pacheco. I think defensively, I'm going to go with McDuffie just because I thought the way he manhandled things toward the end of the season, having all those expectations, playing it kind of out of position because of the injury to Watson. He didn't really get to but he adapted and he adjusted. And good news is Watson could be back for the divisional round game. Special teams, I thought this is a tough one for me because, I think Remigio did a really good job in the limited time that he had. But I think it goes to the Matarese of the punter. He was just brilliant all season long. From game one, I think he had one bad punt, I think, the entire season, and he flipped the field whenever the Chiefs needed it. I think the one time was either the Saints or the Bucks game. I can't remember, where he only had like a 35-yard punt. But I think getting rid of Tommy Townsend and going with Matt and, all the stuff that he'd gone through, and he was cleared and all good, paying the NFL minimum. They got him under contract for 2 more years. I just think he was their MVP on special teams.
Mine's on offense. It's got to go to the kid out of Texas, the skinny kid.
That's true.
He came in here and he showed that he still can take.
Does the skinny kid have a name?
Right, the skinny kid.
Xavier Worthy took a beating. Everybody said he going to do this. He can't take the punishment in that NFL, and he came out here and delivered on a down white. Everybody was out. Rasheed Rice, Nicole Harmon. You know what I mean? You just got D-Hop, and he said, "I am the number 1 target. I will be the MVP on offense," and he showed that this offseason.
I'm the number 1 target.
Also, speaking of on defense, it's got to be one guy. He had one bad game all year, and that's number 32. He should be paid.
Yeah.
Nick Bolton came out here, lead the defense. He set up all the schemes. He let it line everybody up in defense. He called in all the plays. He's called on the plays on the defensive side of the ball. He is Joe Patrick Mahomes on the other side of the field. So that's what my defensive player would go to. Special teams had to go to nobody else but number 14, Matarese. Man, I seen this kid go out there and lay out some running some wide receivers, whoever was returning ball. He punt the ball and still got down there to make the tackle before everybody else had. So
he loves the ball, that's for sure.
That guy should be
nobody blocks the punter.
Nobody blocks the punter.
That guy should be blocked because he's out there killing everybody. So speaking of Nick Bolton getting paid, so who should be paid next? Trey Smith, Mick McDuffie, or George Kalafis?
Well, Smith is the first one that's eligible. So, he's, there's a lot of great guards in the NFL, but I don't know where he ranks, but I would certainly rank him in the upper echelon. So if you want to keep those middle 3, which is the strength of the team, I think, on offense, you pay Trey Smith. Now, of course, the others, are going to get paid, especially Trent. Well, T-Cuffs.
There you go.
Now again, this is where it gets a little weird, right? Because George deserves, but at what rate? Because has he had double? How many times has he had double-digit sacks?
I think once, and he's only 23.
Has he? I don't know how many he has right now. So
knocking down a lot of balls.
I think he has a lot of upside. He really started playing football very late. I mean, obviously coming from Greece, he was a water polo player, so he's very athletic. And I think that's why you see him, with the ball skills and be able to bat balls down is his water polo background.
Okay, I got you.
But it's going to come down to where are they not going to pay, right? Mm-hmm. Because
that's the kicker.
At some point, Patrick's as the quarterback market keeps growing, his deal's going to have to be redone, I would think, which can help them salary cap wise, but they're going to have to pay him a lot more money.
Man, he's got a lot of money already,
Cuffs, you're going to have to pay him as a top 5 corner in the league.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And with his extension. Now, George, probably not. He's not going to get paid as a top 10 edge rusher in the league. Mm-hmm. And I would imagine his representation knows that he's not at that level. So, yeah, as far as next, Trey for sure, but the other guys, it's going to be interesting because they were first round picks, so you got 5th-year options on them.
Yeah, I definitely say Smith. I definitely say Pay. Because, honestly, what have y'all heard all season about Smith? Nothing but him being a bulldozer. Nothing but him bullying other guys, bullying defensive tackles and ends and whatnot. So, I say you pay Smith. That's the heartbeat of that offensive line for real. Besides Tony, is Smith, man.
Whoever the ref was in the Steelers game did not like Trey Smith.
No, he picked on him quite a bit.
I mean, he was just trucking guys, and they kept calling penalties.
He's a bully.
Trey Smith is the real deal. That kid, he should have been a first-round pick. Everybody knows the story. He had medical issues, and a lot of teams just took him off their board because they were afraid of the medical. Chiefs took a shot. I mean, it was in the 6th round, but
but they went down there and worked him out. I mean, they had the trainer go visit him.
Obviously, that pays off, and I would imagine other teams did the same. Maybe not to that degree, but they took the medical and they're like, "Hey, we just can't do this," and that happens every year with a guy, right? Mm-hmm. And fortunately for the Chiefs, it worked out. But Trey Smith deserves everything.
And he was a 6th-round pick, so they haven't paid him a lot over the last 4 years.
Right.
And I think Hense and I had some intel early on before the season started that he was going to get a deal done with the Chiefs, and we thought it was close, and it was just a matter of time. And something happened. Now he's got 2 agents. They work in tandem. And they got Creed Humphreys done first. Smith is going to want similar money, if not a little bit more, because I think guard
probably a wise move because the price of poker went up after this season.
And his value. I mean, he plays hurt. I don't think he's missed a game, maybe 1 game or so in his career in Kansas City, maybe 2. He is the backbone of that offensive line, and then you've got the Joe Thuney question. Where does he play next year? He's got $28 million though. There's no way they can afford to keep that number on the books. So do they extend him? Jawan Taylor, Vincent, 74. He's in Kansas City through 2026. So there's nothing you can do before then. The cap hit's too outrageous. So he'll be here next year. After that, I think he's gone. But
so who I would have paid? Trey Smith, McDuffie, or George Kalafis. I would tag Trey Smith. Try to work out the offseason. Then I would pay Nick Bolton. You got to get Nick Bolton this by.
I don't think he's up there. I don't think he's up there, sir.
I'm just saying I know he's not up there on the board. I was saying because he's a free agent, going to be a free agent this year as well. So if I had to, I would tag Smith and I'll pay Nick Bolton because this defense will look totally different without Nick Bolton in the.
I'm going to answer that question in the next segment
on the field. As far as Nick's concerned, but in terms of how the league views that line, Mike linebacker position, because we know his deficiencies in pass coverage. Now, again, not horrible, but not great either. And I would imagine most teams, if they game plan, they're trying to get their back or their tight end ISO'd on Bolton in pass coverage. No question about that. And just the number isn't quite that high, which I guess can work in Kansas City's favor, but in the grand scheme of things. But in terms of positionally, do they want to go to top of market for that position? That I think is the real question.
And the linebacker,
shout out to KC Sports. Nice to see you too. You know me, but again, looking at go ahead and say what you're about to say.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think that, I mean, you know, if Spags stays, if Spags stays, you know, I think he'll do everything he can.
Yeah.
But if Spags leaves, and
Spags really
don't offer
Spags really liked LJ too.
There it is. You know, if he goes to one of those two teams, they have the cash to be able to make Bolton the highest paid. And we know how Spags feels about Bolton. He raves about him constantly.
Hence, you're going to have trouble in paradise.
If the Chiefs want to get him done, they probably would be wise to get it done before, or if, you know, Steve Spags takes one of these jobs. Now, you know, the question is, if he leaves, is it a better deal? Is it a better team going to the Raiders or the Jets? Right. You know, I think it's mixed results for both. I think
you don't have a quarterback with either team.
You don't have a quarterback in either one. He's going to have to hire a top shelf offensive coordinator. You know, maybe he brings Nick Kafka down from the Giants and makes him assistant head coach, or, you know, something like that. If he's looking to leave, now Nick Kafka's interviewing with the New Orleans. He's interviewing with the New Orleans Saints for their head coaching position as well. So he may not be there, but
the Chiefs.
He's going to have to get a really good offensive coordinator in both cities. But I think I would rather work for Woody Johnson in New York than I would for the guy in Raidersville. I just don't.
Wouldn't it be the match made in heaven? Tom Brady and Spags, like,
I mean, it depending on how much influence that Tom Brady really has.
First, Brady does have another job, right?
Yes,
and probably the most significant weeks of his career to date. His first playoff games. I'm pretty sure they have the Super Bowl this year as well. So how much time is he going to devote to? I'm sure he'll maybe give some suggestions to Mark Davis, but do you think he's going to jump in the interviews?
Yes.
And
yes, he'll be part of everything.
Okay,
he'll be a part of whatever the league will allow him to do. Yeah. And I think the fact that Spags was basically the first coach that the Raiders announced that they would be interviewing tells me that Tom goes, okay, look at he's taken my advice. Look at the last hiring cycle. The veteran guys, the veteran coaches, the guys with experience who've had success and failure in the NFL level and a variety of coaching levels, you know, have done well.
Yeah, true.
Instead of the young pups and the kids, you know, who are young, and, you know, there's a few hits there, but a lot of misses.
I want to see the war. I want to see Spags and I want to see.
And Spags, I think Spags being in the Raiders.
I want to see that matchup right there.
If Tom has a big say, that's where he'll lean. And I you know, I think ownership's going to follow in whatever kind of Tom says, because, you know,
go to the Raiders. Go to the Raiders. I want to see that matchup. Go to the Raiders.
Since Daddy left the building, the Raiders have.
I don't know how good that place is going to be for Spags' health. Al Davis. You know, Mark Davis, you know,
I think
he still looms over the organization, but he's got to be just really, his spirit is like pissed.
It's got to be, it's got to be pissed. And there's rumors that, a lot of players want out of want to be gone.
Yeah, Crosby.
Crosby's one of those guys. I think they're going to have to really focus on making sure he's content and he's happy. Now, if Spags comes, I don't think you're going to hear any Crosby rumors being traded.
Yeah,
he's got 2 years left on his deal, and I suspect he'll finish his career in Kansas City. That's just my gut reaction.
Spags with Crosby and
Spags with Crosby, and they draft better.
I know.
The problem is Tom Telesco is the GM of the Raiders, and he's the guy who ran the Chargers into the ground.
If Spags leads to the Raiders or the Jets, if I'm Spags, I'm choosing the Jets, because you got Sauce Gardner. You got all the other guys, the young DBs.
Reed might be leaving though. There's a lot of guys leaving from the Jets too.
You got a good defense over there. you got all good offensive pieces. You just don't have a quarterback. You go get a Kirk Cousins, or you know what I mean. You go get somebody like that to to help the flow of the water. You know what I mean. But other than that, man, Spags ain't going anywhere anyway. So I don't know why we talking about it.
I don't know about that.
Why'd you put the question up there?
Kansas City, he's just to fool everybody, man.
He's the highest paid defensive coordinator in the game, and that's going to have some say.
This is their way of.
Lou said back in the day, Spags won't get hired.
This is their way. Now again, this is the other part of the hiring cycle, and the advantage that you have is to bring in guys from other teams, and they kind of have to give their vision. They have to, they have to basically sell themselves, and not that they're going to give secrets on where they're coming from, but you can read between the lines and kind of see, how things tick and so forth. So the interview process is fascinating. And I'm assuming that they probably have a very short list, and
an actual list.
Right. And I would venture to guess that Spags is not on that short list. And nothing against Spags. It's just, the way this is going. And if Mark Davis wants to hire, it's got to be a splash, right?
He's Clinsbury. That's why I'll go get
right. So
maybe.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, this would be the most bizarre. But there have been mentions that John Gruden is back. His name is back, kind of filtering through the league.
Yep.
We know how much Mark Davis loves John Gruden. Now,
I can't see them going
I don't
back
know
to
if,
another.
I don't know if Brady loves Gruden. I don't know if Tom Telesco loves Gruden, but we know Mark Davis does.
Yeah. I can see Chucky with the Jags. Or
Florida.
I can see down with the Florida.
Gruden go anywhere. He spent. I guess he spent part of the summer with Dennis Allen in New Orleans camp. He was with Coach Reed a few days in the Chiefs camp. So he's got his little YouTube thing going on. So he is. What
kind of coach is Gruden anyway? What kind of coach is Gruden?
He's an offensive genius. He's an offensive genius. You know what's interesting about what Brady?
He was Coach Reed's offensive coordinator for part of the time in Philadelphia.
Okay. Question.
He worked with him in Green Bay.
Yeah. He the one that took over the Raiders.
Chiefs offensive coordinator. Where if he come back to be your Chiefs offensive coordinator?
I don't think he's going to do that. I think he comes back as a head coach or nothing. I think that's just the way he's going to roll.
Again, the biggest thing with the Raiders is the impact. Now, what's interesting about what Brady has done? What has he done today? He spoke to Bill Belichick, who basically said, "Thanks, but no thanks. I'm staying, even with a $10 million." And then he goes to Spags. He wants defense.
Per sources.
Okay. Per sources. I think the sources on this one are pretty legit. I don't think Bill Belichick was ever going to do that to North Carolina after being hired 3 weeks ago. He's not doing that.
Yeah.
10 million buyout or not. But
talk about it.
I think that if I'm the Raiders, I hire a very defensive minded coach, because not only are you going to battle the Chiefs, but you're going to battle the offensive genius and with Chargers and with the Broncos. And obviously that's where their focal point needs to be. And then they bring in a really good offensive coordinator. They might have to overpay to get the right guy. And then it's the decision of who's going to be the quarterback next year. Maybe he brings in Carson Wentz and says, okay, we'll give you a year while we develop a young quarterback like they did with Alex Smith. I don't think there's not a surefire quarterback in this draft. And, or maybe they go after, they look at the Vikings situation and maybe they make a deal with McCarthy.
Well, the Raiders are 6. The Raiders
Brady's had a significant influence on Shedeur Sanders.
Yeah, that too.
Is Coach Prime could that be kind of
that's gonna be the surprise? I think he's gonna go to the Raiders. Watch.
I think he wants the Cowboys job. I really do.
Coach Prime.
Coach Prime.
Wait a second. Hold on. Speaking of the Cowboys, Jerry Jones had like an Emmy performance in Landman this past weekend.
Yeah, he did.
Oh my God! One scene.
I don't watch it yet.
I swear to God, and I don't know if it's somebody else mentioned this, but I got the same sense. he was, I mean, it was to me, I think it was like almost completely unscripted, and he was speaking from the heart and almost like paralleled his own life, the way he was talking to John Hamm about getting his family around him to be able to, run a business together and all that. I mean, but it was just, he looked like he'd been doing this his whole life.
It was, what the part they don't show in the clip, and I'm not going to spoil it, was kind of how he got rich. And I thought that was fascinating.
Was it on Paramount?
Yeah, it's on Paramount Plus.
Okay.
Yeah, how he got rich, and then he goes into what happened after that.
Yeah, and I think all of that was true.
I don't think it was a script. I think he just said, "Hey, Jerry, we talk about."
That was, and I think that's why it was so good, is that he didn't have to make it up.
I mean, he was emotional. It was,
yeah.
It made me think of Jerry Jones in a completely different light.
And like Jerry Jones don't need more money.
And that's why I think he was tearing up a little bit, because it struck a chord.
He is 82, right?
Is he? 95?
He's up there.
Yeah, he's in his 80s.
95, 102.
He's a shrewd businessman. He stopped the Bears from interviewing their head coach. Somebody
put in the chat.
Seen that.
Somebody put in the chat. Let Elon Musk buy the Cowboys.
But that's only good until the 14th, because on the 14th that exclusive negotiating window lapses. And then Mike McCarthy can do whatever he wants. So it looks like on the surface, just like Jerry, always pushing things to the limit, that, he must be going to re-sign him. But I wouldn't. I wouldn't think it's any different. I think it's just him exercising. What's in his deal, and we can still say no.
But back to Spags. I don't think Spags is going anywhere. Nick said
I just don't feel it, and it's not because of Spags. Yeah. I think it's just because of the way the league works.
Hey, I'm glad he's getting interviews, and I'm glad his name's. It's a big sign of respect.
Yeah,
he's the only 4-time defensive coordinator, Super Bowl champion, about to be the 5th, a record that probably will never be broken. And he could go down. He'll go down as probably one of the greatest defensive coordinators.
Belichick has 2 with the Giants as well.
Yeah, 2. Yeah,
2 with the Giants. Yeah,
with under Parcells, and then 6. Obviously
that's
with
what
the
hire
Patriots.
Rex, which I think Jets hire
Bronco
Rex.
too. I can't see that. I think Rex is a.
Rex is a personality.
This is a semi-family show.
I think. Except unless you make some sort of odd comment in the chat, then not so much. So
not a fan of him.
So I think Rex. This is the only. This is the only job that he, I think, is a prime candidate for, and is the only job he can be a prime candidate for, because of the success that he's had there, the fact that his father coached there back in the day, and that maybe he's got a relationship with Woody Johnson, and Woody Johnson really wasn't involved in the hiring process last time. Mm-hmm. So he brings a very unique perspective, and in what you can say what you will about his personal life and how he acts or whatever, but he got that team with Mark Sanchez at quarterback to 2 straight AFC championships.
Yeah,
and we've already talked about the talent that they have on the defensive side of the ball. So you talk about, if Spags went there, these other defensive coaches, they got to get the offensive coordinator right. They got to get the quarterback right. All that stands. You can say the same thing, whether it's Rex. His defenses with the Ravens were pretty damn good too.
They were legit. They was legit. Yeah.
So I think, again, I wouldn't say he's like the best candidate out there, but I think he might be the best candidate for the Jets.
He earned the respect. Yes, I agree.
Mm-hmm. So with that said, speaking of best candidates, let's get right into one of the number 1 candidates on this show, and that is Eric Haynes.
All right, let's talk about our sponsors
man on YouTube.
That's right, Mr. Eric Haynes with the Eric Haynes Real Estate Group. If you're looking for someone who can help you buy or sell a house in the greater Kansas City metropolitan area, it is Eric Haynes. You can reach him 2 ways. Call him on his cell, 816-729-3785, or you can email him at esellskc@gmail.com.
Proud sponsor of Mr. Niall Davis.
That's right.
That's proud sponsor. Folks, sorry.
That's all right. Another proud sponsor is my incredible wife, Emily Athan. If you are looking for the best health insurance option for you, your small business, or your family, There's nobody who understands the private sector and also the government sector better than my wife, Emily. So if you want to get a free quote, give her a call at 913-215-9086.
Emily.
That's right. Next up, we've got one of our newer sponsors as well, Resell Electronics.
Save big on the hottest electronics. At Resell Electronics, we offer the best deals on new and pre-owned TVs, game consoles, cameras, plus so much more. With 2 convenient locations along Nolan Road in Independence, stop by and visit us today.
That's right, Resell Electronics. 2 great locations, as mentioned, 1214 South Nolan Road, down on 40 Highway Nolan Road inside the flea market. They are your number one source for consumer electronics, whether you want to buy something great for your family, for your needs. If you want to sell some old stuff, that's the place to go. You can check out their website at resellwithacelectronics.com.
Resell electronics, sir.
There we go. And also our newest sponsor, we're very excited to be working with Underdog. You can play their pick'em game. You can go higher or lower. You can choose more than 2 players. It's a great app. I used it over the weekend. Playoffs are coming up this weekend. So if you want to play the games, it's a great chance to win. You can get up to 1,000 times your entry fee. It's available in 33 states, which is impressive. And you can deposit and get up to 1,000 in bonus money. Join the millions of fans who have won billions on the Underdog platform. Hey, when you sign up, we'll put the link here on the right. You just make sure you put in the code Chiefs Blitz. Remember, you must be 18 to play, 19 in Alabama and Nebraska, also Colorado, 21 in Arizona and Massachusetts. You definitely want to make sure that you have this game because it is absolutely incredible. It's easy to download, and make sure you add the code Chiefs Blitz. We would appreciate that a great deal. That's Underdog.
There's no need to fear.
Underdog is here. I was going to do that at the beginning, and I thought, I don't know.
Yeah, we might not get paid if
I don't know enough people who remember that or not.
Well, the old people will. So
there's a rumor they're going to do a live version of Underdog, which I think would be great. So we'll see.
Yeah,
that's right.
One of my favorite.
Shout out Wally Cox.
Yeah,
Wally Cox.
That's right. It was Wally Cox, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not making this stuff up, Nick.
I know you can't make this stuff up. What can I say? What can I say?
With that said, guys, we have Factor Cap coming up Friday. We have the Cube coming up Friday. You have Story Time with Nick coming up Friday. And also, again,
very special.
Like he said, guys, don't forget to go hit that link that's in the chat. Go ahead and place your bets. You know what I mean? It's available. Well, didn't say.
Yeah, play the game. Here it is right here. Here's the link. Just hit the link. Please sign up and slap heads around. Let me mute his microphone.
Yeah,
slap the game. That's why you can play it in 33 states.
What's up, Dino? How you doing, man?
Yeah,
what's up,
Thanks for stopping by.
My headphones a solid color, man.
We always get a little excited when the Paisans come by.
Yeah, man.
Is that a beer? I can't tell.
We can only hope.
That is a small sample size of great
5 o'clock somewhere. Let's go.
So with that side, guys, we will see you guys Friday.
All right.
Let's go.
I don't know if there's something else that we're supposed to post. If it is, run it.
There was a video that somebody asked. I think Mango. Do we have that
Dino's
video
from the UK. Nice.
Dino's from the UK. What up, Dino?
Yeah,
Dino, my amigo.
So you guys know each other?
Mango's starting to rake in that crowd.
Yeah,
too.
that's right. Dino,
we are going international, baby.
He's wearing an England soccer kit. There you go.
All right. Is he in the room with you, Mango?
No, you did. Lou is in the room associated.
They're
with
friends.
My
they obviously know each other,
Mango.
which is all good.
Nah, man. Real talk, man. Keep it going. We nationwide with it.
So is that a question? Do we have a video?
Is there something else?
Oh,
or we
no
video?
I don't know what video you talk about.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll save it for Friday's show, whatever it is. All right, guys. Yeah. You have a great Wednesday, Thursday.
Absolutely.
We'll be back. We'll be back on Friday, 1:30. We will talk again about the wild card weekend and whatever other news comes out of the Chiefs camp between now and
Underdog Sports. Log in.
Underdog Sports, man. Log in, man. Get in where you fit in, man. Get in where you fit in.
There you go.